Hi, Neighbor Rich here. Welcome to the channel. We are having a great time having adventures and fun, and today is going to be a little different as well. Today we have to actually travel to Charlotte, North Carolina, and as you can see, my Z06 still has its pajamas on, and the reason is because I'm not about to leave that up at the airport. We're going to be taking the Honda Accord today, and we're going to be traveling to North Carolina. Now, I've got to do a little bit of business there, but at the same time, in the town that I'm staying in, there is actually the North Carolina Auto Racing Hall of Fame. I'm really excited about this because I'm going to get a chance to get an inside tour with some of the volunteers there. So with that said, let's get this party started and let's get moving over to the Harrisburg Airport. Okay, get a parking ticket. Good to go. And we have arrived. Flight is on time, and now I just have to go through security. You know, sometimes I crack up over the silliest little things, but I walk into the airport and one of the signs is my buddy Mr. Rogers, and the sign is real clear: won't you be my neighbor? And we're off. Away we go. You know, I always try to get a seat that's directly over the wing. They say that's the smoothest ride. And with cloud covers here in Harrisburg and cloud covers where I'm headed to Charlotte, the ride could get a little bumpy going in and going out. So, but anyhow, we're on our way. Well, as you can see from the sign, we made it to Charlotte. So now let's just go get the rental car and I'll be on my way. We're here at the North Carolina Auto Racing Hall of Fame. And I want to tell you that, you know, you might think NASCAR is not something for me, but NASCAR has a lot of followers. There were 5 million people that just watched the Daytona 500. You know, NASCAR started in 1948, but it really got its roots from people in some of these different southern states running moonshine. And, you know, it's still kind of popular to get some moonshine when you're down here in North Carolina. But, you know, in 1948, a guy named Bill France decided that, you know, all these cars that raced and there was so much fun, and these moonshiners would be chased by revenuers and trying to get away in stock cars. They decided to start NASCAR. And that is what, you know, is part of America's history. I'm in the main showroom area with Bob, and he's going to explain a few of these cars to us. And he's going to also explain some of the things that are in the display case, because they're totally amazing.
First thing I want to show you is this particular case right here. This is Louise Smith.
Okay.
She's from Greenville, South Carolina. She passed away in 2005. She was the first lady of racing.
Wow.
She started racing in 1945 and went to 1956, won 39 races.
Wow.
Now, she didn't win the races in the Grand National Series. She raced in the Grand National Series, but her wins come from 1945 through 1949, most of her wins. And now, where she had won most of her races was like in the old modifieds, which we have one of her original 39 Ford cars.
Cars
that's
right
the
here?
black and white number 94.
Louise, there it is. Look at that. This is her original car.
One of them.
One of them, yeah.
Yes, this car right here also in the early 50s ran on the sands of Daytona 2 different times.
So yeah, that's when they ran them actually on the sand in Daytona. Wow.
Yes, the car here is a 1960 Chevrolet that Rex White won the championship in 1960. He beat Richard Petty over 3,400 points. That winner right there. That Rex ran a lot of your little local tracks. That's where you was getting points and stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah, where Richard was just running the bigger tracks.
Yeah.
But halfway through the season, Richard found out that he was falling behind Rex here, and they couldn't catch him.
Okay.
Because Rex White was a proven winner.
That's great. Well, should we look at some of these cars?
Okay, the one on the left here This is a 1959 Ford Thunderbird.
Wow.
Now, when they come off the sands after 1958 onto the track that you're on now, which was a new track at that time, the 2.5 miles, Ford Motor Company wanted to win that race really bad.
Okay. And they still want to win really bad.
Oh, exactly right. Anyway, so Ford Motor Company sent 8 Ford Thunderbirds to Holman and Moody, which they were stationed at the airport in Charlotte, the famous Holman and Moody. So they started building the 8 cars into race cars. Big Bill France, who started NASCAR,
Right.
called Detroit and told them, said, those cars will not be on the track, they were illegal. Because this Ford Thunderbird was a sports car, and you had your Corvettes.
Yep.
That was your 2 sports cars
Yep.
in the United States.
Yep.
But he let them go ahead and take one and let them put it into NASCAR specs
Yep.
to run on it.
Yep.
So they wanted to make sure that this 59 Ford Thunderbird wasn't any better than what a regular Ford Fairlane would be, or a Chevy Impala or something like that, or Studebaker, whatever it's going to be out there running. And they found out aerodynamics, it looks like that this thing right here ought to slide right through the air. but there's some different things on it, and really the only thing they found out that was a little bit of improvement was the 2 little wings on the sides of the rear fenders right there, that helped the stabilization of the car on the track a little bit.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Right here we have O'Brien's 1963 Corvette, and he was from Fairfield, New Jersey, and it was really the first year that the Z06 came out, and the first year they really got into racing. And this is an original car, and it's got 23,000 miles on it sitting here. And here's the Skull Bandit from Mr. September. He won actually all 4 races with this car, and this is the actual real car that ran those races in September back in 1991. And here's a couple new ones too. Here's Richard Petty's winning car, and here's Kyle Petty's winning car. Yeah, both of them sitting here side by side in the museum. There we go. There's a little shelf to Richard Petty. And some of the cars that they've got lined up in these other display cases. Pretty awesome. And wow, look at this, a Schrader.
This this is a Dodge Avenger that Ken Schrader drove a few years ago, and did very well in it. And I was out at Ken Schrader's shop one day, and we asked Ken, said, "You got anything that you'd like to put in the museum over there?" He took us to the back room and had a big canvas over a vehicle back there, and underneath of it was this.
Wow.
And we said, we'll take it in a minute. Beautiful car.
Look at the inside of that. I hope you can get this, because that's pretty incredible. Beautiful car. Oh, and there he is. There you go. That was the man himself. Well, also they have here in Mooresville a Walk of Fame. They not only have this museum, which is a Hall of Fame, but they actually have a Walk of Fame, and this is one of the plaques that's actually in the walk. And you can walk it just like the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and you can actually see, like, and this one was for Richard Petty, and I mean, there it is, you know, just really talking about these guys that are legend. Yeah, they also have a whole room that's just dedicated to uniforms of some of the greats. And this one here, Tim Richmond, arguably maybe one of the greatest drivers ever. And here are some of the other uniforms that are here. And, oh, sorry, Bob.
There's Rusty Wallace.
This is Rusty Wallace, yeah, yeah.
Here's the Skull Bandit here.
The Skull Bandit Racing, okay. Yeah. Very cool.
This right here is Jeff Green's uniform.
Okay, yeah, Jeff Green.
Mark Martin's.
Mark Martin, yeah, I remember that name.
You know, and this guy right here was a race car driver, Ed Negree, at the Charlotte Motor Speedway that he had a Dodge number 98 that he let Dale Earnhardt Sr. drive in, and he ended up doing 2 or 3 places better at what it did in the race.
Wow.
But, that was his first one of his major races.
Yeah.
The next car we have here is a 1954 Hudson Hornet. They made Hudson Hornets from 1949 to 54. And this particular car right here is a replica, but it looks like what they had on the track. The hand painting on the sides, the sponsors on it, and things like that. Now what they had to do at that time to make this car ready to race, they would take everything out of the trunk. You got to get rid of that weight.
Yeah.
They would take usually the right bench and the front seat off of it and the rear seat out of it to make it lighter. Then pop the hubcaps. They would take the exhaust system off and put a straight pipe coming out. Now,
But they straight piped it. Yeah, I love that.
exactly right. Now, it has some good tones to it. But then another thing they had to do too, with these cars here, it took 2.5 minutes for a tire change.
Okay. 2.5 minutes. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
They do that in about, what, 2 seconds in the Daytona today?
12 seconds.
Yeah.
But this particular car right here, like if you had to get into the engine, the driver had to pull a lever inside underneath the dash, and you come out and stick your hand in here
To push that back.
You had to push this back, raise this up here. Then you had a stick usually right there that you put in there to hold it. Well, that took up about 5 seconds to do all that. So now, what they decided to do, take the hood mechanism out of it, where this thing was just laid on top here. Now they have the pins they put in the hood pins.
Yeah, and use the pins, sure.
Well, back at this time here, they didn't have hood pins. Nobody really thought of it. So what they would do, they'd put a couple little eye bolts in the bumpers in them.
Into the bumpers.
And then put one right here, and they'll just bend it up. Well, they had to get like a bungee cord to hold that hood down so it wouldn't pop up in the air.
Well, that sounds safe.
Well, back that time they didn't have bungee cords.
Right.
But you had inner tubes. You cut strips of inner tubes out. The more strips you put on it right there, the tighter it would get.
You know, they always say necessity is the mother of invention, and boy, they went after it on that one.
Exactly.
Look at the engine on this. I hope you can see it. It's a little darker over here, but a really cool setup with the carburetors sitting there on top, and look at the size of the block on this thing. Wow, that is really, really a cool car. Well, Bob, I really want to thank you. You have been like an amazing host and tour guide, and I so appreciate, everything that you guys do. And you guys are a volunteer organization, and not only that, but the monies that are raised by this organization, they go to a special cause.
Yes, back several years ago, Don Miller had an organization he wanted to try to help get some money for. So we're all volunteers here. I've been here on my 27th year volunteering for him. And all of our money goes to people coming in to see the museum with the donations and things like that. Everything goes to abused children of North Carolina out of that. And in the past 27 years that we've been in this organization, this museum has given them over $1 million.
That is absolutely phenomenal. Bob, once again, I want to thank you. You've been awesome. This has been an awesome tour, and I really appreciate it. You have a great day.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming back and see us.
Oh, I will do that. That'll do it for this edition of Neighbor Rich. And I'm standing here with my buddy, Richard Petty, and we're just having a great time. So hope you enjoyed this upload. And the thing that I want to leave you, again, I always like to leave with that positive thought, is don't let what you can't do stop you from what you can. I like to actually make lists and see what I can do. And then, like, if I can't do one thing, I go down to the next thing on my list. And it really helps me to organize my day and get me going. So I hope that if you can listen to that and it works for you, don't let what you can't do stop you from doing what you can. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.